Hey everybody, I just wanted to put out a quick video. I'm sure you've seen my giant text posts before. You've probably not read the whole thing, and that's okay. I've been writing a lot recently, but I just want to put out this quick video because there's one thing in particular that I want to talk about, and that's what's going on right now. I turned on the news this morning, and the news is talking about yesterday, which is called Super Saturday. Three big states voted. Bernie won two of those states by about 10 to 20%, and then Hillary won the third by what they're calling a landslide. I don't actually know the numbers, but I know she did very well in Louisiana. But then they're showing delegate counts saying that Bernie is all washed up because Hillary has 1,121 delegates and Bernie only has 481. There's no way he can possibly catch up. It's all over. Don't even bother. But what they're neglecting to say about that number is that 458 of her delegates are super delegates. The actual numbers that we're looking at right now are 651 to 456. So Bernie is just under 200 delegates behind, and that seems like a big number until you realize that states like Michigan have 147 delegates, New York has 291 delegates, and California has 548 delegates. If he keeps winning, he's going to catch up. And what those super delegates are is they're people appointed by the Democratic National Committee to vote in the election. Their vote, I don't want to say supersedes the popular vote because there are far fewer super delegates than there are pledged delegates. But their vote is there to kind of tip the scales to the candidate that they prefer. People like President Clinton and President Obama, Bernie Sanders himself, former Vermont Governor Howard Dean. These are all super delegates, people given special voting privileges by the Democratic National Committee. And the way you earn a pledge delegate is you get people to vote for you in a state. The states aren't winner take all, so the more votes you get, the more delegates you get. You can actually split the delegates if the race is really close. The way you get a super delegate is they say they're going to vote for you. And yes, that's important, but they don't actually vote until the convention. So their vote is kind of technically up in the air until we get to the convention, and most of the time they're going to vote for the person who won their state. So if Bernie wins a state, more likely than not, the super delegates from that state will vote for him at the convention. It kind of goes back and forth, but they're definitely playing it up to give Hillary an advantage, to make it seem like she has an insurmountable lead. But when President Obama beat her in 2008, he didn't get the majority of superdelegates until the beginning of June, and they actually started voting in the primaries in 2008 a month before we did this year. So that would be like in July if Bernie were to start getting the most superdelegates. So it's a long process, and none of those superdelegate votes are guaranteed. He's already gotten 20 more superdelegates in the last few months than he had. So they're starting to switch, they're starting to move their support, but it's kind of a slow process, and we really need to start winning these states. And what they're doing is they're targeting younger people who have never voted, older people who have been apathetic or have never voted, people who are completely disenfranchised with voting in general and don't think the party has been listening to them. All those people are starting to come out for Bernie, and they're trying to dissuade that. They're trying to stop people from voting for Bernie because clearly they want Hillary to win. We know that. They all jumped on board as soon as she announced that she was running, even before anybody else announced. So they are all putting all of their eggs in Hillary's basket. They are going for her, and they're trying to dissuade people who don't normally vote, who are very excited about Bernie. They're trying to dissuade them from voting. They don't want these people to come out and vote for Bernie because they don't want to lose their nomination that they're going for. So really the only way we get around that is to get out and vote. It's very important to remember that every vote in a primary counts. If you get one additional vote in a district, you get the majority of the delegates in that district. So even on the district level, the delegates split. So it's very important that we get everybody out to vote, because one vote literally can make a difference. We saw it in Massachusetts where Bernie won districts by literally one vote. So it's important that you get out and vote. that you get your friends out and vote. You get your family out and vote. If they're leaning Bernie or they're not sure about Bernie, direct them to a website like feeltheburn.org. That's BERN. That website has a lot of information on it, broken up by issues. So if they want, they can go there, they can find the issues that matter the most to them, and they can check out exactly where Bernie stands on that, what he's proposed in Congress, what he's proposed to do as president, and they can really learn a lot about him as a candidate and what he wants. And a good way to get people out to vote, other than just calling up your friends or texting them and telling them to get out and vote, is you can actually make it a game. Take a picture of yourself at your polling place, tag your friends, and make it a challenge. Say, I bet I can get more people out to vote than you. Make it exciting. Make politics interesting to people and give them a reason to want to get out and vote, because we really need Bernie to win in states like Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, where he's doing well, but he's not doing as well in the polls as we want. And those states are open primaries. That means that if you are an independent, if you are not registered to a party, you can go and you can tell them you would like to vote in the Democratic primary, and they will let you vote. Your vote will count. And Bernie does very well among independents. He does very well among young people. But the problem is a lot of them don't vote or think they can't vote. And that's not true. So I'm asking that you get as many people out to vote as you can. Talk to your friends, talk to your neighbors, talk to the guy on the street who sells you your coffee. Whatever, whoever, talk to them, encourage them to vote. And if you need more information about where to vote, when to vote, or how to vote, check out voteforbernie.org. It's a volunteer website run by people in support of Bernie Sanders who will direct you to your state's website with all of the information you need on how to vote. So please get out there and vote.